All right, here we are for one last interview on Scarlet Lady before we head to our next one, which is right next door. But we needed to finish this week up. Scarlet Lady. Let's start with embarkation.
Great.
Good.
It was much better than a lot of the other lines. I will say that they were running behind. So, I mean, while it went smooth and pretty well, they were a little bit late, but
It was good.
no big deal. No big deal.
Yeah, no problem there. Oh.
Yeah. And Mama D was happy because they did allow her to bring on her Pepsi 12-pack. So that is now a thing, but she got that. Then, like, first day sail away parties, that kind of thing. Solo meetups. I love their first day activities here on Virgin. A lot of different things.
It was good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sail away party is good. I will say that they've changed it a little bit, so it's not as much of a production that it used to be, but it was still nice. And I like that they do their solo meetup before sail away so that you can actually meet some people before going to sail away and just kind of building that, versus another line that does the solo meetup at the same time of the sail away party, which doesn't make sense. Virgin does it the right way. So
Very good.
next is dining. Y'all might want to hold on to your hats for this one. I found it really nice. I liked it, but I'm also a little more of like the younger cuisine kind of person, so.
There wasn't meat and potatoes. Let's put it that way.
The quality of the food wasn't all that bad. There were a couple instances where it wasn't too great, but for the most part, the quality of the food was fine. My problem was with the selection. They're big on weirdo foods in my estimation, but I'm older, so maybe that's the deal. But it seems to me that every dinner they should at least have a beef, a chicken, and a seafood selection from people that are used to that kind of thing. But it was often quite difficult to find something that you really thought sounded very good.
Unless you wanted steak every night.
Yeah, but you can only eat steak so many times a week. Yeah, they always had some kind of a steak, but that gets a little old after 6 days.
Well, and while they had the choices of like the different proteins and things like that, it was often just kind of like in a frilly-frolly way that some wouldn't like it. So like covered in a sauce or made into like a ball or a meatball or a tart or something like that. So very different, very, very different. And you won't often find like your chicken fingers, things like that. They do have the burgers and fries available most of the day, but even with that, like they have a bun that's green and they have a bun that's black and things like that. So if you're looking for the traditional, this is not going to be the line for you. This is not going to be the place for you. But their pizza, when warm, is absolutely amazing.
The best I've ever had on a ship.
Yeah, I love their pizza, and it does take a little while because they cook it to order. There's like nothing just like sitting and ready. You have to wait for it to be cooked. So you've got like a 15 to 30 minute and even 45 minute sometime wait to get your pizza. But they give you like the little pagers so that you can go around to like the close by venues and then come back and get it. So.
Yeah, I was down there yesterday afternoon when I was really busy. They had a lot of people waiting, but it only took 20 minutes, so it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. And they give you a whole pizza, and you can like take it in a box to go back to your room or to a different part of the ship and things like that. And then they also have the ice cream, which is included, and those flavors change daily. And
good stuff.
There's some really good flavors in there. Definitely stop and try that. And I would say they are hands down the best for desserts. If you are a sweet person, there's going to be a huge variety, and it's like continual, like it's always open.
Yeah, they're good.
But they're really high in sugar, so only have a couple. Don't eat like 10 Scarlet Ladies a day. You'll be in trouble. Ask one of the solos. But yeah, but it's really good, and they're presented in a different way. Like the presentation is very different than some of the lines. It's a lot more artistic and things like that.
It's very good that way.
Yeah. So next is drinks.
Drinks are good.
That was good.
We like drinks.
Yep, drinks are good. They are not horribly priced.
No?
At all, and they don't do like the service charges or anything like that. So like the price you see on the menu, unless you're at a port like Miami or Bimini, the price you see on the menu is what you pay, straight out. So it's nice. And they also have service that comes around to most of the bar, like tables and things like that, to serve you. So that's
service in general is just great. I mean, they do a great job, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, up in the galley, they still do the like raise your flag, and you can order from the people walking around so that they will bring you your food. But a lot of people, I don't think, are aware of that, so they still do the like standing in line and waiting for their food. I just always order from the table, so then it's always fresh and they bring it to me. But it's still available, because there was somebody that was like, it used to be available, and I'm like, it's still available. So let's see, ports. We've been to these ports
so many times,
a bunch of times, but the first one, Costa Maya.
We love it.
Yeah, that's good.
Love Costa Maya. Love that there's a port there if you don't want to like go out into the city, just like safety wise. We always go out, and I feel perfectly safe going down to Crazy Lobster on a taxi cab.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't just like walk along the street and pick somebody, but when they have the cabs there at the port, just hop in one of those, tell them where you want to go, and they'll take you straight there.
$5 to the beach per person.
Yeah, so it was nice. And like the getting on, off, checking in and out kind of thing on that port is super easy.
Yeah.
No issues there at all. Our next one was Roatan.
It was a bad day weather-wise.
Yeah. Roatan?
Well, it rained early.
It rained, yeah.
Rained.
Yeah, it rained early in the day. But like the main point was there were 8 ships in that day. So it was super busy, and we had to tender, so we didn't even get off. And I had heard from others that the tendering process was a disaster. So it just took a very long time and things like that. But again, it was Christmas Day, so I don't know how much that played a fact of it. But we stayed
Primarily, it was the 8 ships in
it's
at one
volume
time.
of people. Yeah. Apparently the ports, on land was terribly crowded, and traffic was at a standstill, and all the things you would expect with that many ships in.
Well, and especially when we had to tender. So like if another ship had to leave, they had to stop our tenders so that the ship could leave, and then they would restart our tenders until the next ship had to leave and things like that. So just kind of meh. But sea days.
Kind of a lack of activity, surprisingly, for a sea day, I thought. And those that they did have didn't start until like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you're an early riser, not even that early, but if you're up in the morning, you're on your own. I mean,
unless you want to do fitness classes.
Yeah, there's all kinds of fitness.
The mornings are pretty much for fitness classes, and then the afternoons is when they start the trivias and stuff. But yeah, it's a much later rising ship, just as a whole, every day. Much later breakfast, brunch, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then yesterday was Bimini.
Love it.
Nice beach, really nice beach.
I love Bimini. You can leave me at Bimini for a while and I would be perfectly fine. Super clean beach. The tram, it's going to have its peak times, but it's pretty efficient and all that. None of us tried the food, so we couldn't really say anything to the food. But they even had bar service walking around the beach yesterday, which I hadn't seen before. So that was pretty cool. I didn't utilize it, but it was there. So, yeah. But then the overall service.
Great.
Fabulous.
Amazing.
Top notch. Probably the best cruise line that I've experienced. Well, it's up there with a couple others, but it's top shelf. It's really good.
Yeah, I love the service here. I like that you can like relate more to some of the staff. Like they're more open to freely talk and kind of joke with you and things like that. And they'll stand and talk for a while too if you want to. So
the thing that's strange with the experienced cruisers like Mark and I are, no tipping, which is weird. That's weird for us because we find on other lines if you tip them, you get better service. And so that's very strange here that there's no tipping.
And they will actually like refuse your tip if you do offer one. There's a few ways around that, but they will, if you go and like try to hand it, they'll remind you that there's no tipping on Virgin. So,
The service is fabulous.
But yeah, Absolutely love it. Especially like with our guest service, I can get on there if I have an issue. I send it in a chat over my app, and it works great. They get right back to me. If I need something picked up, like my laundry, or I need towels or more water, I just click it on the tablet and it comes pretty quickly. I will say that I have heard, I didn't try, but the room service took a while this time. Like they were saying like 45 minutes, but that's pretty on par with all the other lines if you do room service, so not a huge complaint. But next is the Wi-Fi. I found this one to be the least reliable. A lot of dropping, a lot of errors on the app, like to where you would have to like hard close the app and then restart it for it to like take a direction or to like have the correct ship time and things like that. And there were others that had many issues with the internet and the app, but it's technology, so
Yeah.
Any like entertainment?
We really didn't.
We didn't find any this time.
We didn't do much entertainment wise, and those that we did, I was not a big fan of. We had one guy that purported to be a comedian, but he was anything but funny. He was actually pretty disgusting, I thought.
Many complaints about the comedian.
Yeah,
overall.
There were some really unhappy people about the comedy stuff. Then they got some shows in that big red room where they take you in and have you stand. I mean, they got 1,500 seats in there, and they make you stand. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
They do it like a concert kind of setup, or like to where you're part of it, where you have to move. So for, especially now, because it's getting to be an older clientele here, it's harder to stand, and especially because it's at the front of the ship, so it's moving, and you're trying to like balance and walk and stay out of the way of the show and things like that, so it's difficult.
Then in any of those big productions, you have to you stand in line waiting to get in for a pretty lengthy period of time, and then to get in, you have to stand. I mean, you're probably standing for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean that. Well, you can. I'm not going to. So.
Yeah. Well, and I did go to some of the shows, and there were a bunch of different ones on here, or new ones, and I enjoyed them. But again, I'm able to stand and do them, and be pretty much okay. A lot of standing shows this time. The rock singing one, the band was great. We had to stand. The 80s, 90s music, again, was a standing one. Y2K New Year's party was a standing one, and then last night the Untitled dance party was a standing one. So a lot of standing, which if you have seats, use them.
You would think.
But and then the energy of the shows I like, but they're definitely going to be towards one kind of like and dislike, because it's more of a contemporary. It's not a Broadway act by any means. It's more contemporary dance. Kind of play on with the like music and like culture kind of thing, and then also a lot of, I don't know, like openly gay comments and things like that in the show. So if that's not a your thing, you may be kind of easily offended. But I mean, you have a drag queen as one of the happenings cast, so you kind of know what you're getting into. I have a great time with it, and like the sarcasm and stuff like that is right up my alley.
And that's fine,
You know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
there.
you just need to have an open mind when you come in, and if that easily offends you, this is not the line for you.
No, that's not a problem, I don't think.
I have a great time.
We had fun with the bingo, the drag queen bingo and that type of thing. It's fun.
There's
Great payoffs on the bingo.
Oh yeah. Best
by-
I've ever seen on a cruise line.
Far the highest of any cruise line.
And they're not fixed either, because one of the people that Howie was palling around with actually won the biggest one the first day, so we know it wasn't fixed.
Nope, not fixed. And the buy-in isn't as much as some of the other lines either. You can pay for as little as $30. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was fun.
But, anything else I'm missing?
Well, we haven't tried to get off yet, but
Yeah, we haven't.
I don't think that's going to be an issue.
And I really like the later checkout time. You're not so rushed this morning, which is really nice. And especially for us that are just going right next door, it kind of gives us a time to chill, get ourselves together, and then like prepare to head over to that one before our check-in time over there. So
Yeah.
You can grab breakfast and all that. They even had mimosas this morning. That was really exciting because then I used all my bar tab.
That's something that's kind of fun is you get the onboard credits type thing. And so it was fun last night watching everybody trying to spend their onboard credit. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. So
yeah,
that was fun.
And be prepared on that last night. If you're using your onboard credit, the stores will be packed and the lines will be out and like down the hall to check out. It was quite busy right after dinner.
Yeah.
But
It's a good deal, though, really. I mean,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
yeah. No.
So
Oh, no, it was a pretty good trip. I've given Howie a bad time about the food deal, but and it did bother me. But otherwise, it was a pretty nice trip, really.
it's
Yeah.
it's one of my favorites. Like I said, I don't have an absolute favorite line. There's plus and minuses to every cruise and even every line, so it kind of changes. But this one went really smooth. I didn't see a whole lot of like confrontation or just
There wasn't
disagreements
any of that this time.
between customers. So it's a really relaxed vibe and just kind of everybody gets along with everybody else kind of thing and just kind of joke. And like the elevator situation is a lot better on this one. You might have to wait a little bit, but you're usually able to get an elevator pretty easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
They like to move your door magnets.
Well, it's that depends on who's on your cruise. Drunk nights and moving door decor was a thing on this one.
Oh, they always, on other lines, they always blame it on the kids. But with this one, there's no kids. So it's crazy adults.
Yeah, I think we had a little bit of a rowdy floor by the sound of it. And that's another thing. We just had to pause for an announcement. Your whole week, you aren't going to hear any of those.
No.
No, which
Information is a little lacking.
You have to use the app, which again had a few issues, but they don't come on and say, "Hey, you're in Roatan, get off the ship." You have to be like, "Oh, we were supposed to get off at 8:00. We must be open." Like,
There's a lot of guessing going on.
oh, but they're pretty punctual. If they say they're gonna, be there by 8:00, they're there by 8:00. And so that was nice. But sometimes you like a little hello. Are you still alive? Type thing.
and I will say, like when they ran into some issues with the tenders and stuff, they put a message through on the app. So that's like how they share their information. But it's pretty quiet. It's pretty quiet. You don't hear a lot of bing bongs from the ding dongs or anything like that. So
No.
But all right, overall, is this a do again, or maybe not?
I liked it. As Mark said, the food issue was primary on this one this time.
The food issues got me teetering back and forth whether I'd do it again. I'll do it again. I mean, that's not, but would be my first choice. I have a problem with the food issue.
Yeah,
But I'm older.
They want a little more generic food.
Yeah.
My opinion is, can I stay? I don't want to leave. Can I just keep my bracelet active? Like
Forever.
Yeah, I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Holly's going to be one of those that she'll do a back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
But with that, I will say, Virgin doesn't change their menus or variety or anything like that. So like up in the breakfast, like for the galley, it's the same thing every day. If you get tired of things easily, you're going to get tired of the food. Like I would really like a real breakfast burrito or something like that right now instead of my French toast burger or just like the eggs and stuff. So could I do like 3 back-to-backs? I wouldn't be able to. I would need to go somewhere else and get a little bit of variety of food and then come back because they don't change it. And I even said at one of the restaurants, I said, I don't think I would like to work here because if you work in a restaurant, you are serving the exact same thing every single day. They don't change the menus night to night. They don't have like a Caribbean night, an Italian night, anything like that. It's that restaurant and that's all they serve the whole time. So
yeah, there's no specials or anything like that. Dinner time and lunchtime, they did have one area in the galley that would change every day. But again, I think it's like Monday it's this, Tuesday it's this, Thursday, Wednesday it's that,
Yeah, but I love this line. I just like the free flow, kind of the party atmosphere, the openness of, I met people that I wouldn't normally meet in my day-to-day life. and I have a great time with it. So, and at the solo group, you will meet the most interesting people ever. Like, some of my friends come up and they were like, how did you meet that one? But it's awesome to hear just like all the different stories from around the country and the world, even on this one.
Yeah, we met a gentleman from the UK, which was a lot of fun. And he was in the rock star for this week. And he was a hoot, believe me.
We have a lot of fun. But definitely a wide variety of people. But again, with the solo program, you get what you put in and out of it. So if you're going to be very quiet and reserved and all that, you're not going to meet a whole lot of people. But if you go to the solo meetups first thing and just kind of talk and interact, you're going to meet plenty of people, because I walk into a place and there's a whole bunch that I can talk to and hang out with.
And there is the nightlife for Holly, because Holly likes the nightlife. And this cruise line does an excellent job with that. Mm-hmm. You know, promoting the fun and the parties and that type of thing. But we really didn't even see any stupid drunks either on this. You know, everybody drinks responsibly and has a good time with it.
It's a great atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it is fun.
Loved it, loved it. But that is our review of this year's Virgin Cruise. So I will go and continue to make those memories and not dreams, and live every day as a gift, because that's what it is. Thanks to my donor. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you in like 10 minutes on another ship. See you next time.